Greetings and welcome to the Planetary Persuader. I'm your host, Cosmic Kev, and this is for the week beginning Friday the 17th and continuing on through the 23rd. So this is the last week, and by Thursday we get into Vedic Virgo, actually Wednesday night for us Pacific Daylight Time people. So that's a big shift, you know, and so the sun is like passing through the Magha Nakshatra. You know, we're out of Vedic Cancer in a true Leo territory right now in this sidereal zodiac. In the tropical zodiac, we hit Virgo on the 22nd that evening, and maybe the 23rd, depending on where you live in the world. Okay, and here we are, Pacific Daylight Time, and we've got the moon today in the sign of Scorpio, but this morning it's in the constellation of Libra, and it's in the lunar mansion or nakshatra known as Vishaka, and Vishaka is about branching out, you know. So if you feel like branching out this Friday and, you know, making more expanded connections, and it's easy to get lost in it, and there's a lot of strength, there's endurance, there's, you know, it has a dual rulership of like Agni, who's the god of fire, and Indira, who's like the god of gods, who's like great in a fight, all of this kind of stuff. And you know, so I mean, there's this great, because of all the ambition, you know, there can be like you can burn out, you know, and sometimes you can lose track of your friends and your heart while pursuing your ambition, and that's super sad. And you know, I've seen that with us too. But on the upswing, though, if you have spiritual devotion and you respect the rights of others, you can, you know, go through that triumphant gateway, so to speak, in a good way. So here we go. Moon in Scorpio, and we're starting with Aries for your horoscope. So here we go. Aries, greetings. So Mars is retrograde, and it's retrograde now in back in the 10th house, right in the midheaven point, you know, right, getting towards it anyhow. And so it's both in the sidereal Capricorn and in the tropical zodiac sign of Capricorn, you know, because there's a 24-degree difference, you know, between the two in some minutes. So with this knowledge, Aries, where you're at in the tropical zodiac is we've got Mercury, North Node, Sun, still in the 5th house. So it's like, how do I love my children? How do I respond creatively to situations? And then there's this intensity this weekend with at least Friday, with the moon in Scorpio. And but the aspects are pretty good, because the moon conjoined Jupiter this morning, and it's trining Neptune shortly thereof. So there is this kind of gracious, you know, wake up with a lot of grace, good time to do your devotions, everybody for this matter. And then you know, it's going to be happy by Saturday morning, and moon goes into Sagittarius, and you'll be, you know, you might likely travel. So that's a lot of info there. Let's go to Taurus. Alright, so what we have is Uranus, which is a planet of surprises, a planet of inspiration, a planet of independence, and, you know, yearnings for a better or more exciting social life. And some say it's like an insane genius. You know, I've heard this before about Uranus. If you're born, say, April 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, you're the people that are really feeling the Uranus in Taurus more acutely. And so, or if you have an early 0 degree through 4 degree Taurus ascendant, you're feeling it very strongly, you know, even to 5 degrees, I imagine. So Venus is in Libra in the 6th house, you know, so you only get yourself something nice to wear. And there is like this urge to travel now that Mars is back in the 9th house, Pluto and Saturn are there, so there might be some kind of challenge that's spiritual or meaningful that you're going to face that, you know, could transform your life or exhibit a lot of strength. All right. Hello, Gemini, and welcome to your horoscope. So Mercury, that old trickster, I didn't talk too much about that earlier, but it's going direct. Okay, it is no longer going to be retrograde. Well, let's get the right date here for this. As of Saturday night at 9:25 p.m. So Saturday night, 9:25 p.m. Pacific Daylight, Saturn goes direct. So, and Sunday's got really nice trines too. So it's like you wake up Sunday morning and you're like, wow, okay, everything's making sense again. I feel like I'm starting to make progress. And, you know, as we get the sun transiting from your 3rd house of communication into your 4th house of home, family, mother, parents, ancestors and roots, and where you find happiness in your own tribe. That's what's coming next. Okay. Greetings, Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope. So, the moon is everything, right? So Friday, you know, moon Scorpio generally trine to you, 5th house. You're having a creative experience. You're having a heart-opening experience. You're seeing where your leadership potential is, or where you're just clowning around and being playful, but things that matter to you in your heart, you know, that is what counts the most. And yeah, I think like it, as the week commences, you know, it does, you know, there's this momentum building up because we're going, you know, from new to full moon cycle. So I think it's just like good to be aware of that as we're going. And relationship issues, really, you know, there's this real heavy pull because of Saturn, Pluto, and Mars is back in on the game again, where Mars is exalted. But, you know, sometimes having to face some of your darkest fears, you know, head on in a relationship can be part of this. And, I mean, taking courage, finding courageous friends, you know, like your friends that just don't care. I don't care what they say, just go with it. And in a way, it'll be like a release of an emotional burden. Okay. All right. So, greetings, Leo. Welcome to your horoscope. So this is it, you know, the final week of the regular tropical zodiac Leo. And so much is learned, and so much is going to be like a relief just to not, you know, as much fun as it is to be in the spotlight. Sometimes it's like, okay, that's enough. I just kind of want to dig into my work, and I think that's like the next stage, you know, and that's what's going to happen Wednesday night. Working on old-term health issues, you know, trying to stay healthy. I mean, I know in this area we've had a lot of smoke, a lot of things that have compromised people's immune systems, so it's important to stay healthy. And, you know, finding love among friends, Honoring your sister if you have a sister, very important. And being creative, working with your hands, doing something creative. It should go really well at this time. All right. Well, greetings Virgo, and welcome to your horoscope. Okay, so this Mercury retrograde thing, it clears up on Wednesday night. So, no, earlier than that. What am I talking about? Saturday night. Saturday night, the 19th. No, the 18th rather. It's at 9:25 p.m. Mercury goes direct, so it's going to be, I think, somewhat smoother sailing from here. I mean, you'll have to go over stuff, but progress will be made, and you'll notice it feels different. This is a good Friday for you to hang out with friends or siblings, or to work on creative talents with your hands. You know, paying attention to family and home looks good for coming on to early in the week. And facing, I think, your own fears in regard to your own creativity, your own children and progeny. It's like, allow yourself to just release, set them free. You know, not be upset or too possessed by their outcomes, because that could be, I could see how that could be a big concern for Virgo rising and Virgo people right now. And that, you know, you're creating a spiritual partnership, and this is like, you know, having meditation, prayer time, devotion time, like setting your day forward. And some people, the nighttime, that works really well too, I hear, you know, before you go to sleep. You wake up happier and better. There's people finding value in what you have. You know, your voice counts right now, and you're manifesting an element of sweetness now, and you can be very persuasive on Friday. I could see that. Moving on. Well, greetings Libra. Welcome to your horoscope. I mean, Venus is in your first house, and Venus is slowing down. And Venus is doing that slow, sensual dance, like And a lot of it is romantic notions. What's fairness? What's attractive? These things, you know, are all what's going to be, you know, a balanced, equal relationship. I think that's like a Libra concern. And but also you're feeling more creative, and you're able to do really cool, creative stuff. Focus on making something beautiful. And I mean, Friday looks good for making money. A lot of stuff in the home life, you're like, there's been a slight disturbance, and you have to face your fears in that area. And you're working on health stuff, and but you do have good friends, you know, that have your back. So yeah, there might be some wild stuff on the sidelines I can't talk about. Okay, so greetings Scorpio, and welcome to your horoscope. Okay, so like Leo time, it's like your performance, you know, you're a performer, and you meet certain needs in the public, and so this is naturally a place where your career gets better. Alright, now, you know, there's, you know, Leo and Scorpio are both fixed signs, and so they square each other, so there's like a motivational energy. It's kind of almost like a love-hate relationship too, I'd say, because Leo is much better, I think, at like self-exploitation to their advantage, and Scorpios like to be kind of quiet and behind the scenes, but a lot of them, you know, understand people's weaknesses, and so they do very well on other levels, and you know, and that can also be approached very compassionately, you know, like brilliantly in the medical field, you know. So, but the moon's in your sign. Enjoy this Friday, and the weekend could be good for making money. Early in the week, take care of friends. Things are going to get better. Okay. Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to your horoscope. So, Leo time's like the great adventure, spiritually seeking, looking for greater, deeper meaning in things. You've had Jupiter and the Moon start us out Friday night. Very intuitive, dreamy, imaginational night. A night where karma, deep karma, is really expanded. And, you know, if you're in your devotional place, spiritually happy, you know, that happy place, like just being in nature, watching the stars, everything will be probably great. You know, and you know, and if you're alone, you know, really practicing self-love and giving yourself nurturing that your parents weren't able to give yourself, you know, that's part of it too. Okay. Now. Greetings Capricorn, and welcome to your horoscope. So, I mean, here you have Mars coming back into your first house. So it's sort of like, alright, I've got to, you know, flex my muscles here, get ready for my next adventure, my next confrontation perhaps, place of where I'm feeling direct, energized, and I want to, you know, get rid of the bad stuff, you know, in order to make way for the good stuff. And one thing I really said about Mars is that the Vedic astrologers say sidereal is that he's very compassionate. And so, you know, you've had Saturn and Pluto in your first house for a while, and those are both associated with things that aren't easy. And so it's like, if there was ever a time, I would say you need to practice self-compassion. It's for everybody out there who's, you know, Capricorn, Capricorn rising, Capricorn moon, all of you folks especially. This is huge, you know, and you need to practice that self-forgiveness, self-compassion during this time. Alright, so that is the first, and now we're going to Aquarius. Well, greetings Aquarius, and welcome to your horoscope. So, giving you a little extra. You know, Mercury is exalted in your sign. Did you know that? I mean, I forget that, and then sometimes I say that Uranus is a higher octave of Mercury. So, you know, and you're associated with Uranus as well as Saturn. You know, I think that you're a Saturn. I think Saturn people in general are smart, both Capricorn and Aquarius. Let's see. Relationships have been such a big issue. The desire, the fire, the communication, and the miscommunication. We have different ways of saying things and expressing things, and we often misread each other based on, like, you know, the kind of wounds we have and stuff. And you know, and you've had like kind of rougher sleep, you know, some of the dreams might have been uneasy, and you've had all this energy, kind of strength, but it's also kind of like you're trying to release it. And, you know, not everybody you've known is necessarily a good person above board, and you have some concerns about certain aspects of your life. And so it's, yeah. And then there's a lot of love and a lot of expansion, and your creative juice is good, and you're showing a lot of ability. You're learning to put your love in a more spiritual place with Venus in the 9th house, and you know, the intensity of what happens if you're in a relationship and a mate and you're an Aquarian. I mean, I think there's going to be some really interesting shifts over the next couple of weeks, and so it'll be interesting to watch. Okay, here we go. And greetings Pisces, and welcome to your horoscope. Okay, so I mean, what I see here is this this place where you want to communicate about extraterrestrials and the secret politics, and, you know, and stuff like Pizzagate, and, you know, the riots in Charlotte and all kinds of other things that, you know, I try not to think about too much, because like if I think about like a waterfall in Yosemite or Silver Falls in Oregon, I just feel a lot happier, you know. I'm not like, you know, and I think it's super important that we try to cultivate times where we can be happy, and it's good to be concerned about stuff and take direct action. That's important. But I mean, you know, and so Pisces, you magnify, you know, a spiritual vibe that's been positive, and yet, you know, there's all these different ideas floating around. You're trying to deal with health issues, perhaps. Those are going to improve, and it's like you're going to be in more like romantic la la land. It's possible in the next, you know, this coming month. So that's something to consider. And I think there's just this general, oh, I feel more ready for love kind of feeling. And you're ready for adventure this weekend. You're ready for a good time. It's a good weekend to show yourself publicly, make more of an impression. In your social life, that's where there's kind of a challenge, and there's some unpredictable things, and you just don't feel like going out. I can think of one of my friends. I can almost hear her voice in my mind telling her husband, "No, I'm not going to do this tonight." Because, you know, and so, you know, never go looking for trouble. And I mean, if you can graciously confront your fears and you think there's some spiritual dimension to it, I think that's good too. But I respect sitting at home sometimes. And well, I mean, this is it. This is pretty much the forecast for this week. And thanks for tuning in. Tune in next week. We're going to do the same thing again. Share it with a friend and like it, and keep in touch.